Welcome along to ArsenalFanTV.com. This is the aftermath. Everton versus Arsenal tonight. Not a very good performance by Arsenal again, I'm afraid. Again, another lacklustre performance. Performance where we were below par. We looked tired. I mean, I can't understand how we're looking tired for these games. We should be up for these games. Ordinarily, we might have said a good point, but because of the result on Saturday against Aston Villa, it's not really a good point, is it? Let's get into some of the tweets, see what people have been tweeting about the game. Dan said, champagne prices, lemonade football. I think that kind of sums up the performances at the moment. I mean, it's just not looking like the Arsenal that we know and love. I mean, when I think of the Thierry Henrys and the sort of football we used to play, I can understand what he's saying when he says champagne prices, because we're paying the big prices to get into the games, but the football at the moment is flat. I mean, we were getting outplayed for a lot of that game today by Everton. So, Dan, I hear you. Bradley Tapper says, any fan that considers that a good point is deluded. Context or no context, 3 points nowadays is a necessity for any teams hoping to be third. And I kind of agree with that. If we really want to achieve third place or to get into that top four, we've got to start winning games. I mean, points, decent points, but that's 2 games, 2 points. We could have got 6 points. That's 4 points dropped. And, you know, United won tonight, City have won tonight, Tottenham have won tonight. We needed to win that game, or we at least needed to have won that game against Aston Villa on Saturday, and that's what put us under so much pressure tonight. Another tweet here from David Manning. He says, a draw away to Everton is not a bad result, but we needed 3 points. No, but we need 3 points on Saturday. I agree. Saturday's game now has all of a sudden become massive. We've got to beat Swansea on Saturday, and it's going to be a lot of pressure on the Arsenal players because Swansea will know that. Swansea will be more than happy with a point, and we just have to get 3 points on Saturday. Anything less than 3 points is going to be an absolute disaster. I'll tell you what, I need a whiskey in here tonight. I need a whiskey in here. You know, I'm still feeling a bit down after the performance today, but we'll roll on. Let me check out some more tweets, see what you're saying in Twitter sphere. Who we got now? We got Exo, and Exo says, get rid of Wenger, and we might just get somewhere. Now, I must admit, I'm going through Twitter, and it seems to be quite a common theme. There are a lot of people at the moment who are very unhappy with Arsene Wenger. There's people on there saying he's lost it. I was at the game on Saturday. A lot of fans after the game very unhappy with Arsene Wenger. I don't know what's going wrong. I have to admit I love Arsene Wenger, but the team at the moment is just not looking like an Arsene Wenger team. Let me get back into Twitter and see what people are saying. I've got this one. I'm not even going to read this next one because I'm trying to keep it clean on here. But getting back into Twitter, I've got a tweet here that says, I suspect if David Moyes was our manager, these players would look a lot better. Now, there have been people on Twitter suggesting that, why don't we get David Moyes as our manager? Now, I've got to remind those people, what has David Moyes ever won? All right, you're going to say he hasn't had much money to spend. He has had quite a decent amount of money to spend, and he's never won anything. We've got to be careful, because a lot of us are saying, get rid of Arsene Wenger. Who do we get instead of Arsene Wenger? Look what's happened to Chelsea. They've got rid of Di Matteo. There's not even any decent managers out there to get. They've had to go and get Rafa Benitez. Do we want to be lumbered with something like that? I remember a couple of seasons ago, there were people saying we should get Owen Coyle. Look what happened to Owen Coyle. Bolton went down and he's out of a job. So we've got to be careful what we wish for. But I must admit, Arsene Wenger, he has got to step up his game. And looking at a game tonight, Theo Walcott, he scored on 53 seconds. he was like our only bright spot. If we lose Theo Walcott, we've had it. We're still in the tweets here. I mean, I've got another tweet here from Jay Gooner. He says, the positives for tonight, we're not hemorrhaging goals. I agree with that. We're not hemorrhaging goals at the moment. Just one goal conceded tonight. Clean sheet on Saturday, so we're not hemorrhaging goals. Defence, Mertesack's looking a bit more solid. But we need to start taking our chances and not just creating them. And I agree with that as well. As a matter of fact, I don't think we are creating enough chances. Arsenal sides of the past couple of seasons, we've moaned and we've said, we create all these chances, but we're not taking them. At the moment, we're not creating enough chances. We need to create more chances for the strikers. There's another tweet here. Let me see if I can find that. Hassan Shah. Great tweet from I like this tweet. He says, why does Arsene Wenger never change tactics? Put two up front when we're chasing a game. And maybe those two up front should be Theo and Giroud. Now, I was saying this to somebody on Saturday when we was coming home from the game. Some of these teams we're playing, like Aston Villa, I don't understand sometimes why we don't switch sometimes and go 4-4-2. We need to start taking the game to some of these teams, like the Arsenal of old. And I feel that a lot of these teams, they're not as frightened of us as they used to be. And they're frightened of certain individuals like Theo and that, but they're not as frightened of us as a team as a whole. And I think that's because sometimes we are too cautious. Arsenal becoming very cautious. Not a thing you used to associate with Arsenal, but we are getting very cautious at the moment. So I like that tweet. And the tweets are pouring in. I mean, obviously we can't read them all out, but I hope you're getting a general gist of what people have felt about tonight. We're going to be back down live at the Emirates this week, as usual. We're going to be down there. You know how we roll. We're there. We're mingling with the fans. We're talking with the fans. And this week's going to be a very interesting week because we've got the big march that's going down this week where they're going to be walking from the Arsenal Tavern all the way to the Emirates Stadium. There's a lot of disgruntled fans. They're going to be protesting. They want their Arsenal back. And that march is happening on Saturday. Now, we'd like to get your views on it. What do you think? Do you agree with some of these fans that are marching? They've got some very valid points and they want to march and they want to protest to the board and they want to show, like Arsene Wenger, that, we're not happy. The fans are not happy. Do you agree with it? Let us know. Let us know. Leave your comments here on YouTube and let us know what you think. But we will be there. We'll be covering that march. And as usual, we'll be there after the game and we'll be getting you, the fans' views on what you thought of the performance. And fingers crossed, it will be 3 points for Arsenal on Saturday. And don't forget, you can follow us on our website at arsenalfantv.com. It's the website that everybody's talking about right now, where we just cover absolutely everything Arsenal, and it's all in video. So, make sure you check us out, arsenalfantv.com. If you're watching this video on YouTube, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and to like this video. It's very important for us that you do that. And if you want to see any of our recent videos, just go onto our website and look for all our Fan Talk interviews and Fan Cam. Fan Cam is brilliant. You get to hear all the latest songs and chants from the terraces. There's some absolutely brilliant ones on there, the Giroud songs, etc. So make sure you check that out. You can follow us on Twitter. You can like us on Facebook. And don't forget, tune in to us each and every day, in fact, on the website, because this is arsenalfantv.com for the fans, by the fans. So get involved with it right now.